Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're looking at 10 players undervalued by their managers. For one reason or another, their managers just don't seem to rate them that highly. Let's go. 10. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Arsenal may be on the path to rejuvenation under the leadership of Mikel Arteta, but for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the Spaniard's arrival has been far from refreshing. The young English fullback has reportedly lost the trust of his boss after continuously turning up late for training, with his situation not helped by the fact he's publicly moaned about playing out of position. The 22-year-old hasn't started in the league since the 18th of January, only occasionally appearing in cup competitions. In that time, he has had to watch Cedric Soares arrive from Southampton, and Arteta even used the lumbering Socrates in the right-back role. The former Man City assistant has gone on record saying Maitland-Niles has a lot of work to do if he wants to return to the starting 11. The young Englishman's exile does seem a little harsh considering how well he had been performing. The academy graduate has 2 assists to his name and averaged an excellent 4.3 tackles and clearances per match from his previous 14 starts. But with competition in defence now tougher than ever at the Gunners, Maitland-Niles may be stuck on the sidelines a little while longer. 9. Marcos Alonso. Chelsea are back in the headlines after capturing Ajax and RB Leipzig sensations Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner, and it appears they aren't finished yet, with a new left-back firmly in their sights. Ben Chilwell and Alex Telles are the 2 names often touted, but spare a thought for their current starter, Marcos Alonso. The Spaniard may have not reached the heights he achieved during the Antonio Conte era, but he remains a tidy operator. From an attacking perspective, he still offers a decent threat down the left-hand side, scoring 4 times and assisting twice in the league. The 29-year-old's pass success rate continues to peak over 80%, while he manages close to a cross per 90, just shy of the Blues' best crossing outlets Willian and Hudson-Odoi. And defensively, the former Fiorentina fullback is posting respectable numbers too. He achieves a decent 3.6 tackles and interceptions per 90 and wins 2.4 aerial duels. For context, all his numbers are superior to what Chilwell has managed at Leicester City this season. It's understandable that Frank Lampard wants to add fresh impetus to his defence, but Marcos Alonso remains a solid and experienced head worth valuing regardless. 8. Nampalys Mendy. It looks like time has run out for Nampalys Mendy to impress Brendan Rodgers at Leicester City. The young Frenchman was supposed to be the future of the Foxes midfield, pitched as the perfect replacement for a Chelsea-bound N'Golo Kanté. But after a tricky start for Leicester, it appeared 18-19 was the making of him, with the former Nice enforcer winning favour under the leadership of Claude Puel. However, a mixture of injuries, Puel's sacking and the arrival of Rodgers has spelled disaster for the holding midfielder. In 2019-20, he's managed a measly 202 minutes of action, only completing a full game once all season. He may claim a 90% passing accuracy from those minutes, but Rodgers has remained unmoved. In the Northern Irishman's defence, Wilfred Ndidi has been truly exceptional, while competition in that position is strong at the club. Even £17 million signing Dennis Pratt has struggled to get adequate game time since arriving last summer. Mendy's contract expires this year, meaning his time at the King Power will reach a disappointing conclusion. Claude Puel is reportedly desperate to reunite with him at Saint-Etienne, but the fact remains that Mendy would be a quality free signing for whoever can bring him in. 7. Jan Vertonghen. Jan Vertonghen looks to be playing his final games in a Tottenham shirt. The 33-year-old's contract is due to expire this summer, and some difficult individual displays have suggested his days of being a regular Premier League starter are over. The sight of the Belgian international close to tears on the bench against Southampton encapsulated that feeling. But the reality is Vertonghen is still good value to have around. In what has been a difficult season for the Lily Whites, he's continued to post strong defensive numbers. No centre-half in their squad can actually better his 3.7 tackles and interceptions per game, while his unrivaled experience means he commits just 0.3 fouls per match. By comparison, Davinson Sanchez commits almost triple that. Vertonghen's main issue has been his declining passing capabilities. His pass success rate has dropped to a career low 82.7%, while his long balls per game have almost halved since last season. However, the former Ajax man has had to cope with a change of manager, and surprisingly outperforms Toby Alderweireld in that department. Tottenham managed to convince Alderweireld to extend his contract, and may consider extending the same courtesy to Vertonghen before it's too late. 6. Nemanja Matic. Nemanja Matic is on course to record his fewest minutes ever in a full Premier League season. The Man United midfielder fell out of favour with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the run-up to the new year, making just 4 league appearances. However, an injury to Scott McTominay brought the Serbian international back to the lineup, and in 2020, he's been quietly reminding everyone just how good he once was. For the first time in 4 years, he's managing over 2 tackles per 90 in the league, being dispossessed less than once a game and continuing to provide relief to the defence by contributing 1.3 progressions from deep. And though he may have only registered 1 assist and no goals, he's currently posting the second best key passing statistics of his career. In a recent upload to Instagram, Matic himself showed just how important he really is for the Red Devils. It displayed how, since his debut in 17-18, from 105 league games they have a 59% win rate when he plays and a 38% win rate when he doesn't. If Solskjaer wants his side to continue where they left off prior to the lockdown, he may have to keep faith in his Serbian enforcer. 5. João Cancelo. João Cancelo may have commanded a price in the region of £60 million, but that hasn't guaranteed him a start at Manchester City. The Sky Blues' most expensive ever defender has been restricted to just 9 league starts, with Kyle Walker continuing to be the first choice at right back. Pep Guardiola just doesn't appear ready to fully trust Cancelo, while a number of outlets are reporting that the 26-year-old has struggled to adapt to life in the Premier League. However, his stats would suggest otherwise. Though he's yet to register a goal involvement, no player in the City squad can better his 3.7 tackles and interceptions per game, while he offers almost double the number of key passes and dribbles as Walker per match too. It just goes to show that with a little more faith, Cancelo could start to prove his worth, but with Angelino potentially coming back from an excellent loan spell at RB Leipzig and Walker still only 30, things won't necessarily get any easier for the Portuguese international anytime soon. Whether he's still at the Etihad next season remains to be seen, but make no mistake, Cancelo has been far better than his appearance numbers suggest. 4. Michail Antonio. West Ham boss David Moyes and Michail Antonio just don't seem to get along. 2 seasons ago, in the Scots' first spell in charge, they fell out when Antonio was punished for running late for a team meeting, with a fan favourite considering being dropped unfair. Fast forward to the current day, and it appears there is still an element of distrust between the two, with Antonio only making 10 starts all season. Unfortunately for the former England international, Moyes had earmarked him as an impact substitute, capable of unleashing his pace against tired opposition. In the West Ham squad, only Felipe Anderson can better his 3.6 dribbles per 90, though the Brazilian doesn't possess the same raw power as Antonio. Aside from Sebastian Haller, West Ham have really missed an attacking edge, and Antonio's absence could be to blame. In the final 2 games before lockdown, no attacking midfielder in the Premier League created or was involved in as many big chances as the 30-year-old, while he ranked 2nd for shots on target and 3rd for key passes. This season, the Hammers have slid dangerously close to relegation. If they're serious about avoiding that fate, Antonio has to feature. 3. Tanguy Ndombélé. Jose Mourinho has made no secret of the fact he currently doesn't value Tottenham Hotspur's record signing, Tanguy Ndombele. The Portuguese maestro has repeatedly slammed the Lily Whites' new £54 million man in the press, particularly digging him out for a poor performance in Tottenham's last game before lockdown against Burnley, having already substituted him at half-time. That means that Ndombele hasn't completed 90 minutes in 2020, a fact that looks unlikely to change anytime soon. The French international arrived from Lyon with a reputation as a dynamic box-to-box midfielder, but unfortunately for the 23-year-old, his numbers have worsened in both defence and attack while in the UK. From 947 minutes of league action, he has 2 goals and 2 assists to his name, but his combined expected goals and expected assists per 90 has dropped from almost 1 in 5 in France to just over 1 in 10. The Frenchman isn't the first player to struggle in his debut season in England, and won't be the last. Tottenham fans can only hope the club keeps faith with him a little longer, for, as Moussa Sissoko shows, it's possible to turn your Spurs career around. 2. Andreas Christensen. Andreas Christensen has gone from looking like the future of the Chelsea defence to battling to make the starting lineup. Following a successful loan spell at Borussia Mönchengladbach, the young Dane was fast-tracked into Antonio Conte's first team, starting 23 games and playing over 2,000 minutes of league football in the 17-18 season. Various injuries ruined 18-19, but the arrival of Frank Lampard offered hope to Christensen, with the Englishman famed for championing youth. However, unfortunately for the 24-year-old, Lampard's loyalties have been placed elsewhere. Kurt Zouma and a young Fikayo Tomori have both risen up the pecking order, while Antonio Rudiger remains the only centre-half guaranteed to start when fit. As a result, Christensen has had to be content picking up game time where he can, and though he's still made 15 starts, he's played considerably fewer minutes than Zouma and Tomori, with Rudiger set to overtake him. That's surprising considering he boasts more tackles per game, aerial duel wins, and a better pass success rate than any of his fellow centre-backs. Lampard may not rate Christensen, but a number of rivals do, so don't be shocked if other clubs come calling if his situation doesn't improve. 1. Matteo Guendouzi. Our final undervalued star is Arsenal midfielder Matteo Guendouzi. Like his teammate Maitland-Niles, the young Frenchman has fallen out of favour with new boss Mikel Arteta, having been disciplined twice already this season for off-the-field issues. Before lockdown, he'd only completed 90 minutes once in the league, with most of his action coming in cup competitions, and with the Gunners dumped out of the Europa League, it looked like his game time could be set to decrease further. That marked a stark turnaround in his young Arsenal career, considering that by January 1st, only 3 other outfielders in the Gunners squad have played more minutes than him in the league. Prior to being dropped, Guendouzi was on course for his best season at the Emirates. The 21-year-old hit a career-high 4.1 tackles, interceptions and clearances per game, while maintaining an impressive pass completion rate of 88%. His distribution at the base of midfield made him a key component of the Gunners' build-up play. Guendouzi only cost a paltry £7 million from Lorient back in 2018, so his monetary worth remains unaffected. And an injury to Granit Xhaka could yet prove his redemption, with Mikel Arteta now forced to hand the youngster some minutes. However, if his attitude doesn't change soon, his value within the Arsenal squad could be in danger of depleting further. So those were 10 players undervalued by their managers, but who would you have included? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give us a like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to never miss a video. We'll see you next time.